So I'm testing out a new camera today. BJ, can you even see if I'm in here? To see if I, hello Nancy, to see if I can,
There you are.
okay. I'm testing a new Shea Butter soap recipe for my soap making for beginners e-course. I just mucked up that glove. So, I guess I'm not going to worry about that. Throw that one in the trash. These are cheap and it's not worth fighting the glove. I have determined. So, get your safety gear on, your goggles, your long sleeves. I don't wear long sleeves because I get really sick if I get warm because I have chronic fatigue syndrome and that is one of the symptoms. So 3.34 ounces of lye is what I'm going to use. The recipe will be in the description below. 3.34 ounces. Always set your scale at 0, of course. Perfect. And then my water, oops, I did this wrong. Hold on. Okay, let's just do it this way. Okay, so tearing my scale again. And I have it on 0. I am measuring my water. 7.92. Okay, and I got that. So I am going to stir my lye into my water. Never ever pour water into lye. Always lye into water. And I'm stirring it. Stand back away so that the fumes are not in your face. And you choke on the fumes because they can get quite potent. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna let this sit and we're gonna rinse out our container. Make sure you always rinse out your container so that your family doesn't get into the lye accidentally. So I'm gonna put this in an ice bath and I'll be right back after it is cooled down to 100 degrees. Okay, so I am going to measure out my oils and my shea butter for my Shea Butter soap in my How to Make Soap e-course. This is the mold I'm going to use, and I am doing 24 ounces of oil to fit in that mold so that it doesn't go over the edge and slosh everywhere. So I have my shea butter here, which one of my soaping friends, Jamie, let me kindly buy from her so I didn't have to buy a huge hunk, but you can just buy it off of Amazon. So, that smells really good. She uses this in her soap. I don't usually use it, but it's a recipe that I think is really good and that you will really like. So there's my shea butter. Next is my olive oil. So let me finish off this one. And this recipe is in my How to Make Soap e-course. Get my next. Now when you do olive oil, I just get mine from Walmart, but get the classic, not the virgin, extra virgin, because it is better in soap making for, well, I don't know, it depends on who you talk to, but I like this better. It doesn't turn my soap as green when I color with blue and stuff. Okay, just a tad more. Okay, got my olive oil. Now I have my coconut oil. My coconut oil, thankfully, has been sitting in the sun in my window and is slightly warmed, so it's easier to scoop out. You can set it on a vent if you're in the winter, or set it in the sun in the summer, and that will help soften it. Okay. And now, my castor oil. Castor oil and coconut oil is what makes soap bubble. So that's why a lot of recipes use it. Here we go. All right, so let me measure my lye water and see where I'm at. I'm at 153. So let me get an ice bath. Now, to cool down your lye, it works best to have ice and water because the water gets cooler quicker. If you had just ice, it would have pockets of air where it wouldn't be getting cooled all of a sudden. So I'm going to, oops, I got a piece of soap from when I was cutting earlier. Must have been on my glove. So I'm going to microwave this for about 1.5 minutes and start getting it all warmed up. Then I'm going to come in and get the two down to 100 degrees. Just keep mixing and checking until you see if it's in there. So I just got the question, how do you account for the container? When you set your container on your scale, let's see if I can get this shown here. See how it says 24 ounces for my container? That's not how much is on there, but yeah. You push tare. Oops. When you push tare, it should go to 0, so it doesn't count the container weight. And that is how you are able to measure, and you don't have to worry about accounting for your scale, or I mean for your mold. So you can see here how my oils aren't completely melted. Shea butter does take a little bit to melt. Let's see what my temperature is. It is 131, so that is more than plenty to get my shea butter melted. So I'm just going to stir it until it gets all melted and get it cooled down to around 100 degrees. Let me check my water. My lye is at 99. My oil is at 108, so that is pretty good. You want them within 10 degrees of each other. I did take my lye water out of the ice bath and put my oil in there just to cool it down a little bit quicker. So now I am going to pour my lye into my water. Immediately rinse out my bowl or my container so that way the kids and hubby don't accidentally use it for something else. I have 5 kids, so I try to make sure I'm really safety conscious. I usually don't do this when they're around, which is why it's so quiet in the background. Okay, so now we're going to blend. We're going to come to emulsion first. You'll see the color change. Whoops, right there. It's emulsified. Boof, just like that. These stick blenders are great. You can stir it by hand if you want. Now we're going to bring it to trace. And trace is where you leave dots on the top after it has been blended. And I forgot to tell you, when you put your stick blender in, make sure you burp. Can you see that little air bubble come out? Make sure you burp that out so that you don't get too much air in your soap mixture. My sink was dripping. Okay, now this is getting super thick fast because I have shea butter in it. Now look at that trace. That is a beautiful trace. Right there. That's exactly what you're looking for. Now, if you're using essential oils, now is the time to put it in. Always remove your blender. I did that one time and I about freaked out all of my, I forgot one time and about freaked out all of my poor viewers. All right, so then we're going to pour it into our mold. Like this. And I leave a little room on the top so that when I go and move it to where I cure my soaps in my basement, I don't spill it on the way down to the basement. Because hopefully at our new house we will get a soap room. I don't know, that's a dream. I'm not sure if it'll actually happen. Also, it helps so that when you tap your soap, you don't splatter it all over. So, I'm gonna tap it to see those little air bubbles coming up. Tap that just a little bit. We're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes. Then we're gonna spray with 91% rubbing alcohol. I do it first, then I wait another few minutes, and then I do it again. It breaks all the little bubbles that are on the top. Can you see all those little bubbles breaking? Then I like to cover mine with a cardboard and then a towel, and that is called gel. You do not have to do that, but you can. So it's a personal preference. I like to gel mine, but if you don't want, you can just set it on the counter just like this. We will be back tomorrow to cut it and show you the end results of our shea butter soap. Okay, so I'm back and it is the next day. Have my soap all covered. Couldn't find my regular lid, so I just used that one. Oops, and there's an additional bag I don't need. Ooh, nice. Oh, that came out really nice. That's the shea butter, making it so firm. That is the nice bar soap. Yay, let's see how it cuts. Ooh, I love that. It smells so fresh. Now, with cutting with a knife, it just takes practice. You just need a steady hand. That is one really nice bar soap. Yay, I'm excited. I like that one. If you have little crumbs, just take and smooth them off like that. Okay, I have never soaped with shea butter before, and I see now why so many people like it. That is a really, really nice bar soap. Yep, 2, 4, 5. Oops, I cut my bars just a little too big. That's okay. So this was about $5 for these 8 bars. And I probably cut these 3 just a slightly too big, but that's okay. There you go. This is my shea butter recipe in How to Make Soap for Beginners ebook.